Yo, yo.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey there, partner.
What a wonderful day. What a wonderful day we have upon us. So,
It's a wonderful day, folks.
Alex had the idea. A lot of good ideas stem from Alex's idea, and then we take them and we shape them to what we really want them
And
to
then
be.
we take credit for them.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to do all that, but Alex,
I'm kidding.
Alex had a pretty darn good idea.
You're not kidding.
I give you all the credit. I worship you. Put the camera on me. Put it on me.
You got it. All right.
I'm bowing before Alex.
It makes me feel better. Thank you.
You're the god of ideas.
Kiss his ring.
Give me your Roman coin. I'll kiss that.
You got it on you?
No.
Wow.
It's on the nightstand on
Dude.
the altar, if you will.
On the thing. So Alex had a good idea, and it was to do an episode about Led Zeppelin. And I was like, that's cool. That's a really good angle. And as the days went by, I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, why don't we expand that and just make it more so about the message and the music.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I'm not sure if we've ever talked about on the podcast, but there's a little known element of my dad's story and how it is connected to music. So I'll just tell that story, and then we can go from there. When I was in high school, particularly like senior year, so I would have been like 17, maybe 2010, 2011, Dad started becoming really obsessed with Led Zeppelin and just playing it every day in the truck. He'd take me to school, pick me up from school, and it was all Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Just obsessed.
We love that.
Out of nowhere. My whole childhood, I never heard him utter the word Led Zeppelin, and all of a sudden, boom, it was all he ever wanted to listen to.
Like suddenly out of nowhere?
Suddenly out of nowhere, yep.
Whoa.
And come to find out he liked him growing up, but when I was growing up, it was all like Aerosmith, Van Halen, Johnny Cash. Like, it was never, Led Zeppelin. It just completely, in my life, it was out of left field, and he just couldn't stop playing it. And I liked it. I thought it was cool and really enjoyed the music. And so about a year goes by of this, everyday Led Zeppelin. And then he, sees the lady. And he starts getting these messages.
You said a year?
Yeah. The lady came when I was 18. A year later. After my senior year of high school. I was a freshman in college.
Damn, that's crazy. He just got a bug for Led Zeppelin like a year before all that happened.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then the lady, or however you would imagine they communicate to him, I mean, they kind of hit on it in the History Channel episode, tells him that there's a message in the music. Particularly Kashmir, the Battle of Evermore, After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. And then he noticed the song, I think it's Love Walked In, by Van Halen. So he started to become obsessive about particular songs and the message. And we'll get to the lyrics in a bit on all of those songs.
Yeah.
And even Stairway to Heaven has a shining lady of light. And he started to become obsessed with this concept. And then I guess a year or two goes by, and then there's this UFO researcher by the name of Grant Cameron. Back in the day, he came to our property probably around 2013, and he starts maybe 2012 actually, his original visit. And he starts to investigate our property, and there's a story that I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the podcast, but anyway, so Grant Cameron's in town, and at the time in 2012, UFOs was still a very niche subject of conversation. And he, during this time period, was accredited as like the world's #1 UFO researcher. He had some sort of award from some sort of thing. I don't know. They'd be throwing hella UFO conferences and patting each other on the backs and stuff. And it's anyway. So he shows up, and it was kind of like, oh wow, he's gonna investigate us. Like, kind of a big deal at the time, And he sticks around for a little bit, and then he leaves. He has to go to Florida or something like that. He comes from Canada. And then on his way home, he's like, hey, can I swing by again? And Dad's like, sure. And he swings by. And the second time he's at our property, this is the story where he's out in the backyard talking with Dad, and Nellie's neck is slashed.
Oh, yeah.
So I had this black Labrador named Nellie that actually I named after my great-grandmother, Nellie Bledsoe. And anyway, she was just the sweetest little dog, and she had just a mysterious she just started shooting blood, just squirting blood.
Yeah, I think that it was like they were like talking in the backyard, and she like run inside or
Yeah,
something?
and she was projectile squirting
out
blood.
of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. No, she was just wagging her tail 1 second. The next second, she's squirting blood. My dad tackles her. He thinks she's dying. Go get a rag. Somebody help. And they start struggling. What do we do? Do we call, 911? Do we call the vet? Like, she's going to die. And they're freaking out.
It was a lot of blood.
It was a lot of blood, yes. I have pictures of it.
Like, she may have bled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's what they thought.
Yes.
And Dad just kind of prays, like, God help me. I don't know what to do. And he sticks her hand on her neck. And then the bleeding stops.
So he put his hand on her neck.
Yeah, to like stop the bleeding.
Right.
And he's like, God help me. I don't know what to do. And then the bleeding stops and the slash disappears. He said he felt something come from him into the dog. Next thing you know, she goes limp. And then she's kind of wagging her tail and she's fine. She's totally fine. The bleeding is gone. And Grant Cameron was like,
what just happened?
What? How do you explain that?
Right.
Right? So he gets this bug from my dad. Oh my God, this is real. I saw something crazy happen. And he starts coming around more often, calling my dad all the time, asking like every question you can imagine under the sun. And one thing my dad keeps telling Grant is there's a message in the music. Look at After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. Look at Kashmir. Look at The Battle of Evermore and Love Walks In by Van Halen. So next thing you know, Grant's like, okay, interesting. Then he starts digging and he starts going into like interviews from famous musicians from as far back as like the 70s and finding out that a lot of them at some point in time said in an interview that they were inspired by UFO encounters, right? So they're saying, I can't...
Grant Cameron found that kind of connection?
Stuff. Yes. After
Wow.
Dad saying there's a message in the music, the phenomenon is inspiring the music. Grant goes and he determines a connection.
Whoa.
Next thing you know, he goes on to write an entire book where I think it's called, let me find the name of it.
Isn't that funny that you are following the trend?
Which is?
The connection between the direct experience with the phenomenon
Right.
and music.
The book was called Tuned In, The Paranormal World of Music. And he credits my dad as giving him the inspiration for this entire area of research. And he finds out that a lot, like I think Bruce Springsteen was one of the names and a lot of other artists saying, oh yeah, I saw UFO and it inspired me for these lyrics or whatever. And then it gets deeper. So down the road, we start hanging out with, especially around 2013 and beyond, we start getting more involved with people in the CIA. And then we get introduced to characters like John Alexander, Jim Simivan, and, they're regular characters in our story. And at some point, honestly, for the life of me, I can't remember which of the two or if it was one of their mutual friends that we knew said it. But one of them indicated to us that a CIA scientist named Kit Green actually gave the lyrics to Led Zeppelin.
Huh?
To like seed prophecy into the world.
Okay, what?
So, yeah. We're going to read the lyrics. But before we do that, I wanted to show people that there is a genuine Led Zeppelin connection with my dad. This is an excerpt from his book, chapter 19. This is completely out of context, but I'm just going to read the excerpt so you know I'm not just blowing smoke and there's a Led Zeppelin connection. Dad says, I didn't sing out loud for fear of ruining their investigation and also because there is no imitating the vocal acrobatics and falsettos of Robert Plant and Sandy Denny on The Battle of Evermore. I chose that song because Led Zeppelin was huge when I was a kid, but mainly because it was longer than 4 minutes and I knew all the words already. So I'm going to jump around a little bit in the timeline, and when I'm done with the story, then we'll go to the lyrics and we'll move on. So obviously, and for very obvious reasons, Led Zeppelin is like a big deal in our house and with my dad and his story. And so I kid you not, so it's 2024 now. February. Last April in 2023 was, Dad announced the motion picture back around November, October, December, something like that. But he'd been daily working on it since April of 2023. And I kid you not, the night that I got the text, we have a deal. I was at a Robert Plant concert.
Right, that's right.
Here in Wilmington.
That's right.
Robert Plant is still alive. He's the original vocalist for Led Zeppelin. He's literally still touring. He tours with Alison Krauss. They make new folk music together. It's really pretty. And I was seeing him live at a venue here in Wilmington. And for me, it was a big deal. Oh, my God, I got to see Robert Plant. He's coming to town, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I go to the concert, and I'm just thinking, like, wow, what a crazy moment, like, that I get to see him live. And I'm getting texts from my dad about the deal. And then I look up in the sky, and over the venue, I saw 3 orbs.
That's so insane.
And I was like, okay, this is weird.
Like that's the phenomenon, like confirming that connection. You know, you're there seeing Robert Plant after being like basically told by the phenomenon itself that there's a connection. Like obviously, like the lady didn't come down and was like, "Yo, you need to listen to Led Zeppelin."
It was just a bug in his brain.
Right. But like, he always knew that there was a connection there.
Yeah.
He always knew that there was a message in that music. It was obvious that it was inspired by the phenomenon. And then if you had any shred of a doubt in your mind, you're there seeing Robert Plant, getting text messages just from your dad about that, and seeing orbs at the same time.
Exactly.
Like it just wiped out any shadow of any doubt.
Exactly. So let's look at the lyrics for Kashmir. You ready?
I got him.
Kashmir.
Actually, no.
By the way. Oh.
Go ahead.
Kashmir. If there's anybody listening or watching that is maybe not super familiar with Led Zeppelin, Kashmir gotta be one of their best songs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Kashmir, and you've probably heard it too. Like there's a few songs that even if you're not familiar with the band, you've probably heard these songs. That's gotta be one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good song.
So these are the lyrics for Kashmir. Oh, let the sun beat down upon my face, and stars fill my dream. I'm a traveler of both time and space, to be where I have been. To sit with elders of the gentle race this world has seldom seen.
Okay.
They talk of days for which they sit and wait, all will be revealed. Talk in song from tongues of lilting grace, sounds caress my ear, and not a word I heard could I relate, the story was quite clear. And it says, oh, baby, I've been blind. Yeah, mama, there ain't no denying. It's kind of like the verse or whatever. Ain't no denying. I've been flying. And then it says, all I see turns to brown as the sun burns the ground, and my eyes fill with sand as I scan this wasted land. Try to find the way that I feel. Oh, pilot of the storm who leaves no trace, like sorts inside a dream. Leave the path that lead me to that place, yellow desert stream. My Shangri-La beneath the summer moon, I will return again as the dust that floats high in June. We're moving through Kashmir. O Father of the four winds, fill my sails, cross the sea of years, with no provision but an open face along the straits of fear.
Ooh.
Oh, when I want, I'm on my way, yeah, and my feet wear my fickle way to stay. And then it's just like, oh yeah, I'm down, oh. But it's like prophecy. It's like, first of all, it's talking about elder beings of a different race that speak a language that only few can understand, which is like, okay, maybe that's weird. If that doesn't do it enough for you, let's go look at Battle of Evermore.
Oh, no. Wait, hold up. There were multiple things there. Like let me see the lyrics real quick. He said something about like my feet are my fickle way to stay. Let me see. Let's see. Where was that? Okay. Another thing, Shangri-La beneath the summer moon, that hit me. Cross the sea of years with no provision but an open face along the straits of fear. Here it is. And my feet wear my fickle way to stay. Oh, when I want, when I'm on my way, my feet wear my fickle way to stay. That reads to me as like feet being the fickle way to stay is like being grounded, like witnessing this like this phenomenon, or witnessing this like infinite power, this infinite wisdom, these people beyond the stars, or this gentle race.
Yeah, the elders,
this gentle race of elders. Like that sounds like this person, whoever is like telling this story, is having a profound experience with the phenomenon and feeling like the separation from the material world and the spiritual world. But
I'm a traveler of both time and space, to be where I have been.
Right.
Yeah. And
that's also really wild. Like time is a more ethereal, abstract concept, whereas space is more it's more material. Like time is immaterial, space is more material.
Right.
You know? That's That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from that.
To sit with the elders of the gentle race the world has seldom seen. Obviously, that makes me think of the phenomenon.
Absolutely.
They talk of days for which they sit and wait. All will be revealed. That makes me think of like
Age of Aquarius.
Yes, exactly.
All will be revealed. A new knowledge.
And at the part when he says, all I see turns to brown as the sun burns the ground. If you recall, that's the part in the song where it sounds very clearly Egyptian. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, I know that sounds funny, but if you go and you listen to Kashmir by Led Zeppelin and you listen to the song, there's a part that's like, okay, I feel like I'm in ancient Egypt.
Yeah, no, I mean, they use like sitars, and they had like a whole symphony for that song.
Right.
There's violins, there's sitars, there's like all sorts of different instruments. So
I want to stress, though, the main song that was given to Dad by Led Zeppelin was Battle of Evermore. And then
real quick before you go on, the Kashmir was the song that made me write down the idea to bring to the meeting to have this episode.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, I figured it out listening to y'all talk about it.
Wow.
Wait till you hear this one.
This is Battle of Evermore?
Uh-huh. First lyrics. The Queen of Light took her bow.
Wow.
And then she turned to go. The Prince of Peace embraced the gloom and walked the night alone. Oh, dance in the dark of night, sing to the morning light. The Dark Lord rides and force the night, and time will tell us all. Oh, throw down your plow and hoe, rest not to lock your homes. Side by side we wait the might of the darkest of them all. I hear the horses thunder down in the valley below. I'm waiting for the angels of Avalon, waiting for the eastern glow.
Whoa.
Now, if we know anything about the King Arthur myth, Avalon is like heaven. Right?
Damn.
This is a mystical tie to, you could say King Arthur, Templars, kind of like Masonic imagery there, talking about the eastern glow. Well, in the Bible, it talks about when Jesus returns, it's from the east, or it's the son of the morning, the sun. It rises in the east, and so shall God or Jesus or whatever return in the east. Is it literal? No.
I'm about to hit you with something else real quick.
All right.
Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. Gandalf was gone for all that time, and he said 3 days' time, I will return. Look to the east.
Yeah.
He looked to the east. They came down into the valley, thundering with horses. The Rohirrim, like that was like low key, like Gandalf is the Jesus character of Lord of the Rings. Like that's almost identical to the Battle of Helm's Deep.
There's a reference of ring wraiths in this song too. They were obviously huge Lord of the Rings fans.
Oh yeah.
So
they have multiple songs that are.
I'm waiting for the angels of Avalon, waiting for the eastern glow. The apples of the valley hold the seeds of happiness. The ground is rich from tender care. Repay, do not forget.
Ooh.
No, no, oh, dance in the dark of night. Sing to the morning light. The apples turn to brown and black. The tyrant's face is red. Oh, the war is common cry. Pick up your swords and fly. The sky is filled with good and bad that mortals never know, which for me was like, okay, my radar's tingling.
Whoa.
Because when I was a little kid and we started seeing this phenomenon, Dad always told me.
I know what you're about to say.
The story in the Bible.
I heard him say this.
Yeah.
Bro, like there's angels and demons in the sky that we can't see fighting all the time.
Right. Dad always said that. He was like, it's like the scripture, son. I don't remember the character, Jacob or something. He's like, and God opened his eyes and he could see all the angels in heaven. It literally says, the sky is filled with good and bad that mortals will never know. That imagery comes to my mind. This quote, I think, is the most important quote of all, and it's something that Dad raised me on, to never fear bad times. He said, the pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath.
Oof.
The drums will shake the castle wall, the ring wraiths ride in black. Ride on. But specifically, the pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath. And the way I've always been made to understand that is like, whatever bad time, I mean, even if World War III were to theoretically happen, it's like things can only get so bad before there's intervention from the light. You know, it's like, it's going to get, I mean, potentially, I don't know the future, but like, there's all this fear mongering in the world. And like, dude, today we lost AT&T service and there's a million conspiracy theories. Oh no, China's EMPing us. I mean, everybody's panicked about everything that ever happens.
Because AT&T went down for 2 hours?
I'm telling you, bro.
That is wild.
People are panicked about everything.
Come on.
From every walk of life. Everything is like this little panic trigger that makes people freak out. And
I'm not going to weigh in on that one.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to feed the fear. I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, don't feed the fear. That's what I'm saying. Who cares if they're EMPing us? Great. I'm just gonna sit here and play my Steam Deck off the Wi-Fi. Like I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah,
you can get your AT&T conspiracy anywhere. You're not gonna get it at Bledsoe. Not today.
And I'm not knocking people that spread that theory. My point is the world is they're always in fear.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm siding with you here.
Everybody's in fear of everything, and it's like there has to be a point when it's only gonna get like. Obviously, the world is bad, but it can truly, from a cosmic perspective, only get
so bad
to a point. Yes. Yeah. And then the balance is going to shift. There's a balance. There's a universal balance. And that's how my dad has always interpreted that line. The pain of war can't exceed the woe of the aftermath.
Yeah, I mean, people, like, today it feels like more so than maybe ever, but people seem to have, like, this natural propensity to want to latch on to any little fear and blow it way up and like, oh, see what they're doing? You see what they're doing? It's the end of it's the end of the world. It's the end time. Start buying all the food. Like, it's like, all right, yeah, sure. Some things happen in the world and some of it's not so great, but like not everything that happens is a worldwide cataclysmic. They're not like after us at every turn.
Right.
Obviously there are bad people in the world doing horrible things, and like there's definitely strings being pulled in the background against the masses, in my opinion. Don't get it twisted, for sure. But like, come on now. Every little thing, like how scared are you going to get before you realize, all right, well, my fear doesn't help anything.
Right. Yeah, I think it's more so conditioning, and people have to be unconditioned. Like just the years and years and decades of fear-mongering, war-mongering. Most of the news cycle is negative news. It's like, how can you not feel like everybody's out to get you and that you have to like, be the first one in the grocery store to buy all the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because how else are you going to wipe?
That's why I need bidets.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's got to be a process. It's like hey, let's tone it down. Like I heard from a buddy about the whole outage thing. I'm like, he's like, didn't you see the news? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be one of those like boomer sounding guys, but like I don't even look at the news at all.
No, I only look at it when it's bombarded at me and it pops up on my feed.
It's if it's like inescapable. Yeah, if they're whatever. But I don't know. I hit a point in like my probably mid-20s or so where it was like every day or every week there was some new thing that was going on that like I have to be I'm scared. Like, oh my God, is this the end of the world? Is this the end of like are we being attacked? Are we going to be attacked now? Like, it's like news story after news story, and my fear hit that cap more than once before I realized, like, I'm only going to get so afraid, and, like, how many times is that going to happen with no actual, like, cataclysmic result before I realize, like, it's fine? And B, like, being afraid doesn't do anything.
For anybody.
Except hurt me and the collective consciousness.
Right.
Living in fear.
It's so wild to me. It's just like when you break it down, not to go off on this tangent.
Please
go
do.
Off, King.
But
Please
it's
do.
like you are feeling some type of way because somebody on some screen, similar to this one that we're sitting here on,
gassing you
told you something that evoked a feeling.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, that's the transaction that's happening. So did whatever happen? It doesn't matter because this person that you trust said, hey, this is happening. Be afraid. And you said, I'm afraid.
Right.
Because I heard these words. It's the reaction is the same regardless of if the cause actually happened. So wild.
It's like, the fear very likely could have been the goal all along.
Yeah.
And
because then you're watching
Yes.
the next news cycle
Yep.
and the next. I hope they learned something about this thing I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
They told me to be afraid of, so I hope there's some more news about that. Because I'm trying not to be afraid, so I'm only gonna not be afraid if you tell me don't be afraid.
Literally,
You know who said be not afraid?
The Angels. Bro,
You're right.
when I realized, again, probably around my mid-20s, when I had the thought, the connection finally, like, wait a minute, news shows are television shows, and their success is based off of the amount of ratings that they get.
Yeah.
When I made that connection, I was like, oh, you motherfuckers.
You know what the kill shot is?
What?
When you find out that every news station in the mainstream media is owned by only 6 companies.
Come on now.
You know what the other kill
It's
shot
the illusion
is?
of being opponents.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's like,
No.
When
Same
you,
person owns it.
yeah.
All these major sporting outfits are classified. I'm pretty sure this is true. You can fact check me. I don't care. That they're classified as entertainment industries,
Yeah.
which is some sort of loophole to where
What are sporting channels?
yeah.
Oh, like ESPN
So
and stuff?
like the NFL is a entertainment industry. So it's like you can kind of use that to support an argument that their league is rigged or the outcomes are rigged
yeah.
or whatever.
I
but-
low-key believe that stuff.
It's true. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, too many times. I've never really like cared about sports, but my dad and my brother, it was always on the TV, whatever. There were like countless times where it was like obvious that a team was crushing another team, and then all of a sudden, at the half, like call after call after call after call from referees that's like, what are they getting called for?
Right.
Well,
Over and over and over and over and over, and then the other team would win, and you're like, hold up.
yeah.
so we hadn't really addressed this, and it's not like that important because I feel like we're falling in the mainstream by addressing this here. But like, okay, what can we just talk about? Like, what are the odds
I know.
that Taylor
don't
Swift?
I knew you were.
What are the odds that Taylor Swift gets with a football player and that football player wins the Super Bowl?
They won
Honestly,
last year's Super Bowl.
No, I get it. Look, and the team's phenomenal. Andy Reid is like a great coach. Like I get
Right.
it. Even though I can't believe
You know their jersey sales for the NFL went up like 400%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what's on? I just
Overnight.
you know what I don't understand about this? I don't understand why more people in America, the land of the underdog, were not all about the Brock Purdy underdog story.
Bro, you know
I'm
what?
so confused.
The- Who?
This is the power of that. My wife and I were flying back from Florida in December, and you know Jenny likes Taylor Swift. Like we listen to Taylor Swift. Like some of her songs are pretty, and
I mean, you didn't have to admit that, but that's fine. You
Admit that
Yeah, I mean
you're on
you
the
know,
wrong side of the fence, Alex.
Yeah, honestly,
You are.
I mean, how about like not judging people?
Yeah.
For what they're
Ooh.
into, you know what I mean?
Flame his ass. Flame his
You know,
ass, bro. We about positivity in here, bro.
Ryan, I'm sorry. You can listen to whatever you want. It doesn't bother me or have.
Oh,
any-
I know it, son.
It doesn't have any bearing on my life. I would have come out on this show and said a lot of things. Before.
No, but for real, you know. So Jenny thought this was really funny, and she's aware of the like crazy fandom stuff, but also like you like what you like, and it doesn't really like, dude. If everybody that told me Naruto had a toxic fan base when we were in high school, and I gave into that, I would have never watched it, and I would have missed out on a great show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who cares?
One of the best shows of all time.
Yeah, because back when we were in high school, everybody was like, "Oh, dude, the people that like Naruto are weird and they're running around doing hand signs," and it was true. But it's like, damn, it's a good show.
Where are you going with this football
I
story?
was that kid.
I was
Sorry.
flying home from Florida in December, and Jenny was like, "Look," and there was legit like a 12-year-old girl on across the aisle right beside me watching the NFL on her tablet.
What?
And Jenny was like,
That is exactly why this partnership happened.
she's a Taylor Swift fan.
Right.
What 12-year-old girl would be watching NFL? And we were just kind of like, not being mean, but like giggling, like, this is ridiculous.
Wait, don't sit here and tell me I can't judge people.
Hey, it's
He's speechless.
it's different.
Right, you got him. You got him,
Hey,
Alex.
the difference is I didn't look at the girl and be like, "You fucking Taylor Swift fan." I wouldn't have admitted that. It's a little bit different.
You stupid idiot. You don't even like football.
Yeah, no, it's a little different when you're giggling at very clearly. You know what? You just go on, man.
Go, yeah. Go on, man.
All right, I'm sorry, Ryan.
Go on, get out. Go get.
Mr. Oh, I'm not going to weigh in on AT&T conspiracies.
I did it.
Yeah, don't.
All right, I took us off the rails. Can I pull us back here?
No, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. I enjoyed the conversation.
This is all tertiarily related.
I'm
it's
pulling
about
us,
music.
I'm pulling us back. I'm pulling us
Alex,
back.
the point is I agree with you about the NFL, all that stuff being rigged.
No, I know. We're on the
It's
same
all
page.
rigged.
It's
Yeah.
all right. I don't want to die on that hill, though. I am not dying on an NFL being rigged hill.
Okay, see what she does to us, man? I'm sick of it.
This is why she shouldn't be involved in the NFL.
Dude, the other day, Nick was like, on Alex's dad's porch. Nick, as in Alex's brother, Nick was like, dude, I swear, man, there's frequencies in her music. Think about it.
No.
And I'm like, probably. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
There's something.
No, I want to pull up here.
the frequency in the music thing, I can only shut it down so many times. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You can't do that.
Like from a music theory perspective.
From music, so just to break it down as simple as possible, the frequencies that we know of that have effects on the human body are outside of the frequency ranges of the standard 12 note system that has been used for
everything,
thousands of years. Well, I mean, less than 2,000, I think. But
so what would be more probable than the frequencies in the music would be
message,
suggestive messaging.
Yes.
And what do they call that? That's illegal, and it's illegal in America to have
subliminal
messages.
Subliminal.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, because just the simplest way to put it is if they put frequencies that could have an effect on the human body into music, it would sound horrible. Because it would be completely out of and it would be out of key from the song itself. So it's like because those notes don't match into the 12 note system. They're like fine tuned completely outside of that range. They're in between our 12 notes. So like that's just not possible. But the subliminal messaging thing, I 1000% believe that's like, dude, you think about it. You hear a catchy song and you listen to it 50 times in a year, let's say, that message is getting pumped into your subconscious.
Yeah.
Whatever the message is or the song is about, like that.
Especially Miley Cyrus. I'm a witch. I'm evil. I'm like, come on, man. You're inciting a ton of young ladies to be singing that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
I'm
doing?
gonna be honest, I had never heard that song.
I don't.
But I want to go listen to it now just to see how close that singing was.
Think of the children, man.
Think of the
It's bad enough we got to watch an NFL.
on planes.
Yeah.
On planes.
Young ladies.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
Nah,
And I said I never said I judged her. I giggled because of the effect that the artist had on this young girl who doesn't give a flying fuck about football.
it is.
Yeah, I
It's
never
funny.
knew.
It's
I
funny.
never knew who Brock Purdy was, but I'm a big Brock Purdy fan now.
Who is that?
Brock Purdy is was the other quarterback in the Super Bowl for the 49ers.
The 49ers.
And he was the last draft pick.
20 off, man.
He was the last draft pick. What are you saying?
I said the 49ers, and he said 20 off, man.
That's a
All right. I'm bringing this back. We're done.
Bring us back.
All right.
I want to share with you.
I'm not done
guys-
with Battle of Evermore.
Yeah, come on.
I'm interrupting you.
Oh.
You already did.
I know. I want to share these small lyrics from "Look Around" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
So you're gonna,
this is a good one.
So you're gonna interrupt
Yeah.
Ryan's lyrics in the middle,
Yeah.
and add a whole song's worth of lyrics.
This is a good one, dude.
All right,
No,
so
it's
it's a cliffhanger.
It's just yeah. We'll be right back to
We'll be
Ryan.
right back to Ryan's, and
and-
yeah.
This is for the folks in Fayetteville. It'll come true if you say it will. I don't know.
Wait, that was it?
That's the one little bit from the song that I wanted to share.
Okay.
So people are like, what does it mean? It could just be some random thing that he came up with. Could be just a random rhyme.
Synchronicity.
There's a bunch of Fayettevilles, or maybe he knew something. I don't know. Let's find out when that song was written.
Probably like the 70s.
From the
I don't know when
from
they
the
were
Chili
around, the
Peppers?
90s. I don't know.
Chili
I never
Peppers?
liked them.
What?
I don't even think
You don't like the Chili Peppers?
I mean, I can enjoy them now, but like growing up, I never.
Here I am judging you again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn, bro, you on the judgment wave.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry.
And here we are out there gassing you up for your hog.
For your hog. For your hog.
Will you please elaborate on that for the listener?
For you, Alex just got a shiny new motorcycle. And
two of them.
Yeah, two of them actually. And we went out there and we're looking at him, and he was just begging us to sit on his hog, man. And I don't think any of us could stomach the thought of knocking it over.
Right, yeah. We were all petrified of
I'm out there in Crocs. I'm like, I'm not equipped to get on this. Yes, I wear Crocs.
Same. I just got my first pair.
The song was written or released in 2011.
Well,
so
how about that?
It could check out.
I don't know. It's definitely weird.
Back to the Battle of Evermore. Thank you for that sponsored message, Alex.
So, that's from me now. Back to Ryan for Battle of Evermore.
So we're waiting for the Eastern Glow, if you remember where we left off.
Yes.
The apples of the valley hold the seeds of happiness. The ground is rich from tender care. Repay, do not forget. No. Oh, dance in the dark of night. Sing to the morning light. The apples turn to brown and black. The tyrant's face is red. Oh, the war is common cry. Pick up your swords and fly. The sky is filled with good and bad that mortals will never know. Oh, well, the night is long. The beads of time pass slow. Tired eyes on the sunrise waiting for the Eastern Glow. The pain of war. Oh, I did actually read this part. I'm sorry.
I'm loving it. Keep going.
The pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath. The drums will shake the castle wall. The ring wraiths ride in black. Ride on. Sing as you raise your bow. Shoot straighter than before. No comfort has fire at night. The lights that lights the face so cold. Oh, dance in the dark of night. Sing to the morning light. The magic runes are written gold to bring the balance back.
Ooh.
Bring it back. At last the sun is shining. The clouds of blue roll by. With flames from the dragon of darkness, the sunlight blinds his eyes.
Damn.
And then the rest of it is just like, bring it back. Bring it back. Dude, come on. Tell me that's not like prophecy about like the final war, metaphorically, like the spiritual forces, the final war of darkness and light and the Eastern Glow and the angels of Avalon coming down and the sky is filled with the good and bad and, the tyrant is destroyed and the dragon of darkness is blinded by the light of the sun. It's like biblical prophecy, man.
Also wild that Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Gandalf shines a white hot light at the ring wraiths to make them fly away.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's and also this allegory, this like endless war, this final war between good and evil is like one of the most used tropes out there, but if you pay attention, like it's low key the most important. Like it's the core message of so many popular works throughout history. Absolutely. Like it's not just for nothing. And also, like you can feel it in your soul. It just resonates that it's not just talking about material, good, bad, fight. Like it's a battle of souls.
Right. The spiritual war.
Yes, it's a spiritual war. Absolutely. Like, dude, even growing up, like it was so weird. But around the time that my parents made me rip up my Pokemon cards, the way that they would rationalize if things were okay to watch or not is they would tell me, well, yeah, like that's sure you can watch Lord of the Rings. That's fine because that's about the battle of good versus evil. Literally, bro. Literally,
that's objectively way more horrifying and magical and demonic than Pokemon.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's unbelievable.
They would that's how they would like, that was their barometer for if it was okay for me to watch or not. There are demons in Lord of the Rings. There is a fucking king of darkness. Like there's like a straight up
witch king.
Yeah. There's like a straight up Satan character.
Yeah.
Like with an eye of flame. Like it
possesses people.
It's pure evil. Like it is pure fucking evil. And yes, they're right. Like it's like the good triumphs over the evil. And so ultimately it is like the best message that there is. But like, come on, it's like cutesy little blue and red animals like shooting little water and fire at each other versus like a fucking orc's limbs flying around and like
eating people.
Like that was the barometer. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that's you kind of got lucky that you were able to watch Lord of the Rings.
I really did.
You're very lucky.
Yeah, I really did get lucky.
That's hilarious. Okay, so if we thought it was a coincidence that Battle of Evermore literally started with the Queen of Light, right? Oh, okay. Chris Bledsoe saw a lady. She says, beams Led Zeppelin into his head. Songs about Queen of Light. Well, let's take a look at Stairway. You ready?
Stairway to Heaven.
There's a lady.
Wait, can you wait? Can you do the intro?
Stairway to Heaven?
Boom, 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 boom.
And there's something like,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Boom, boom, boom.
Now how it goes?
Yeah, that's exactly. It goes, yeah. Check it. There's a lady in the sky. Put your hands up.
There is a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed. With a word, she can get what she came for. Oh, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure because, sometimes words can have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts, I have seen rings of smoke through the trees and the voices of those who stand looking. What are they looking at? I don't know. Oh, it makes me wonder. Really makes me wonder. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason.
Hang on, pause, because that lyric right there reminds me of when your dad gets everybody on the same page to look up at the sky.
Yeah, we all call the tune.
Yeah.
Wow. Like tuning into the same frequency, tuning into the same mind wave. Mind wave?
And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter. Age of Aquarius? I don't know.
Damn.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. And it makes me wonder, your head is humming and it won't go. In case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him.
Was that a right hand, left hand path reference there too?
That's what I was.
Two paths.
Read it again.
Yeah, two paths you can go by. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. I just think about it like Christ consciousness, awakening. Like it's never too late to get on the right path.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, your head is humming and it won't go. And in case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind? And as we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than our soul, there walks a lady we all know who shines white light and wants to show how everything still turns to gold. Alchemy, the soul, right?
Oh, man.
And if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last, when all are one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll.
Rock and roll, baby.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
Damn.
When all are one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll. I think about it like the transmutation of the soul and the awakening, like, first of all, there's a Queen of Light in two of their songs.
Oh, yeah, no.
Where'd they get that from?
Exactly. That's like a central recurring theme, this lady of light, this lady that we're following. And it also mentioned a May Queen, which is obviously referring to the same entity most likely, but it's like there's all this imagery of this like divine feminine entity or energy.
We were a big Van Halen family.
I want to harp on this real quick.
Okay.
Because in the 5th grade, I had to do a project, and it was the worst project ever, where we had to take a song and then change one word in the song to give it a new meaning. Ultimately, I ended up choosing Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So I have read those lyrics and listened to that song. Like, I can't listen to it anymore because I over-listened it, right? So, anyway, I may be telling you guys something that you're like, yeah, duh. But this is the first time hearing it said, where I'm sitting here thinking she's not buying the Stairway to Heaven for herself. This is not a selfish... I always thought this to be a selfish act. Yes, she's building the Stairway to Heaven. She's bridging the worlds for us. And if we all call the tune, we get to use it.
Yeah, this is too late to change the road you're on.
Right.
No, Alex, no. That did not occur to me at all until this moment.
Yeah, every time I listen to the song, I think, damn, that lady, she comes down, she buys whatever she wants, and she's got her own stairway to heaven.
Yeah, I always thought of like the Tower of Babylon. like
or
that.
Jacob's Ladder or something.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Jacob's Ladder. Like they're trying to like find some material way into the spiritual world.
That is Tower
like,
Babylon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like cheating their way to heaven kind of thing.
No, I
like,
see it clearly now.
Wow. Yeah, you just be seeing things
He's on
different.
that razor blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really, really insightful, Alex. That's crazy. Now that I'm hearing the lyrics broken down, like.
Okay, wait. Let's take this a step further.
Okay.
Right.
Conspiracy.
No.
Alex's conspiracy corner.
Okay,
We haven't done that in like 3 years.
It's not. She's buying a stairway to heaven, right? And so, like, let's just pretend that this is an exact relation to your father's story and the lady.
Mm-hmm.
What did this cost the lady? Like, what karmically, or like at what cost
Right,
did the lady come and buy this stairway to heaven to interface with us to help us on our journey?
Is this rhetorical, or do you have...
No, I mean, is it? I don't know.
I mean...
I don't expect you guys to have the answer.
Do
but I'm
you? I'm like hooked right now, and I'm like begging you for the answer. Do you have the answer?
Well, no, because I'm sitting here thinking, because and correct me if I'm wrong, but she said we're the guardians of humanity, and we're the shepherds of humanity.
Well, the being said that.
The being said that. Okay.
In 2007.
So not the lady. I think the lady's a little bit higher.
But she's a being, so
right.
they're of one
mind.
mind.
No, I'm sitting here thinking like karmically, or like, because I don't think that there's like angel lady currency.
Of course, right.
But I'm like, dang it, like what did it cost her? Like what was the cost? Because nothing's free, right? Like
maybe the cost, because like if you think about, we've talked about the realm of the phenomenon as sort of like they're in the spirit realm, there, which you could call it heaven or whatever you want to call it. So maybe the cost is like being here instead of being there. Like she is here helping us. It's similar to, it's a parallel to like the story of Jesus.
I mean, yeah,
like God,
because God and Jesus could have been.
That's what I was thinking. The price was some sort of.
Could have. I mean, you could just be chilling in heaven,
right?
dog,
yeah.
But you didn't. You decided to come down and
exactly
experience pain and suffering.
It's like Galadriel from the Lord of the Rings. She was gonna pass on to the land of the West, and he said he keeps looking towards the West for his soul wants to leave.
From leaving.
Yes. And she was on the ship about to pass into the land of Valinor, which is heaven. And she looked back on the world of man, and she dove out of that ship, and she came back.
Nice.
She sacrificed. That's the cost, maybe. She
Yeah.
sacrificed that like paradise to come here and into this like, hell-like realm, if you would.
Yeah.
And like help humanity.
That's really cool. Let's move on, because I got 2 more songs.
Okay.
And this is going by a lot quicker than I thought it would. So remember, I told you when I was a kid, we were all up and down about Van Halen, dude. Like,
that's my dad's favorite band of all time.
Big Van Halen family as well.
Same, yeah.
As we got older, it became more Led Zeppelin. But like literally when I was a kid, we were jamming Van Halen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dad was like, oh, yeah, the song Love Walks In. Go look at the lyrics. There's a message in it. I was like, okay. Contact is all it takes to change your life, to lose your place in time. Contact, asleep or awake, coming around, you may wake up to find. Questions deep within your eyes. Now more than you ever realize. And then you sense a change. Nothing feels the same. All your dreams are strange. Love comes walking in. Some kind of alien. Waits for the opening, then simply pulls a string. Another world, some other time. You lay your sanity on the line. Familiar faces, familiar sights. Reach back. Remember with all your might. Oh, there she stands in a silken gown. Silver lights shining down. So when you sense a change, nothing feels the same. All your dreams are strange. Love comes walking in. Some kind of alien. Waits for the opening, then simply pulls a string. Love comes walking in. Oh, sleep and dream is all I crave. I travel far across the Milky Way. To my master I become a slave, till we meet again some other day. Where silence speaks as loud as war, earth returns to what it was before. And then you sense a change, nothing feels the same. All your dreams are strange. Love comes walking in, some kind of alien. Waits for the opening, then simply pulls a string. Love comes walking in, and then it just repeats. Love comes walking in. dude, some kind of alien, a lady in a silver gown walks in and she's addressed as love and she takes you far across the Milky Way. Come on.
It could not be more on the nose. And when you hear that song, like when I was a kid, you know, my dad would be like singing that song like to my mom, like in the car, like looking at my mom, like schmoozing her up, you know, whatever. So I'm always like, oh, it's a cheesy love song, whatever. It's just a love song. But then looking at it through this lens, it's so obvious.
It's weird.
It's very weird. And I'm like, I've never looked into this, but I'm compelled to look into like if Sammy Hagar had some sort of UFO experience.
Probably did. Wouldn't surprise me.
Because that's a Sammy Hagar Van Halen song, right?
I mean,
that's not David Lee Roth.
That is...
Which album is it? Show me. That's Sammy Hagar. Yeah, that's Sammy Hagar.
Okay, so this might be the weirdest one of them all. This is After the Gold Rush.
That Neil Young? Yeah, this is crazy.
This is one of the main songs that the phenomenon told him. They were like, After the Gold Rush, Battle of Evermore, and then Love Walks In, and Kashmir. It was a few songs, but this is one of the OGs.
And this is me and Ryan's first like experience.
Yeah, when I was explaining this to Alex, he was just shook. So it says, well, I dreamed I saw the knights in armor coming, saying something about a queen. There were peasants singing and drummers drumming, and the archer split the tree. This came out in the 70s, by the way. There was a fanfare blowing to the sun that was floating on the breeze. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. I was lying in a burned-out basement with a full moon in my eyes. I was hoping for replacement when the sun burst through the sky. There was a band playing in my head, and I felt like getting high. I was thinking about what a friend had said. I was hoping it was a lie. Thinking about what a friend had said, hoping it was a lie. Well, I dreamed I saw the silver spaceships lying in the yellow haze of the sun. There were children crying and colors flying all around the chosen ones. All in a dream, the loading had begun. Flying Mother Nature's silver seed to a new home in the sun. That's very weird. That's very, very weird. That is weird.
There are so many things out of that.
Yeah, so something I wanted to hit on, which was, I think this was initially Alex's idea for this episode, was like, the more I started digging after my dad told me these things, I started researching into Led Zeppelin. And it turns out, as you guys know, Jimmy Page was like an extremely devout disciple of Aleister Crowley's teachings. Went so far as to buy Aleister Crowley's Boleskine Manor, which is like the mansion that sits on Loch Ness. So there are actually conspiracies out there, like if there's any sort of Nessie entity or whatever is going on with Loch Ness, some people out there think it's because of that manor, if there's anything at all.
Wow.
I don't know. I have no idea. How could I ever know?
Full disclosure, I did not know that
it's on Loch Ness.
Where I did not know that. That is wild.
Yeah. And Jimmy Page actually reported that it was haunted by a head of a previously beheaded soldier or whoever owned the manor before.
No.
And yeah, and he would do rituals and sort of occult practices there. And when they were asked, like, what is the meaning behind the symbols and the name Zoso on the Zoso album, they didn't really give like a real explanation other than that it was esoteric in nature. And we know for a fact that Jimmy Page was into the esoteric, and it's speculated that Zoso was the name of some sort of demon that perhaps may have been communicated through with a Ouija board that gave the name Zoso. Is any of this true? I don't know. What I do know is that he really said these things, which right there automatically that gives us like a firm connection to Led Zeppelin and some sort of knowledge of the occult.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
So we understand, do I really know that they're evil and talking to demons? No. And quite frankly, I don't care. I don't know them. But what I do know is that there's some sort of esoteric symbolism in their music.
For sure.
Right?
Without a doubt.
To deny that at this point would kind of like border on ignorance, considering that like it's public knowledge that Jimmy Page was a disciple of the occult, you know?
Dude, Black Dog.
Yeah. I don't know the lyrics.
But it's about the serious.
Yeah.
And even like the Immigrant Song is a song about Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know, they're talking about Valhalla in that song. Like,
And the Valkyries and stuff.
Yeah. I wish you would put the camera on yourself when you did that, but
I'm so glad I'm in charge of the camera.
I'll forgive you. Even that, which, like, you know, somebody could say, like, what about immigrant song? Like, even that is about. We just did a Norse mythology episode
about how esoteric it is.
Absolutely, like mythology. All of their songs have like these fantastical lyrics. It's very high fantasy, high mythology, high occult, esoteric. Like, it's rich in their music.
Not to mention, like, when Led Zeppelin was at their prime, they were literally the biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, if there was a band that some CIA operative would, like, try to, you know, we know what's that band that was the one that the CIA worked with, the Grateful Dead. Like,
no, the Doors.
The Doors.
Yeah,
the Doors. But
yeah.
that's because, gosh, you got me on the spot here, and I can't remember the name. Morrison.
Morrison. Yep, Jim Morrison. Yep.
His father
was in the CIA.
Was high level CIA.
I'm just saying, like, we know that they work with artists and slip, you know, propaganda and information and things like that. And, you know, we also know, because they studied your boy, that they're very aware of occult knowledge and the phenomenon and prophecies and things of that nature. They're very, very fucking interested in that stuff. I can tell you that through lived experience. And it would make sense to me that if that was true, that they actually did that, Led Zeppelin would be the band to do it.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. The symbols are everywhere. The symbology in the lyrics is everywhere. And I mean, like, that's one of the most on the nose examples. Like, that's Jimmy Page is the name that gets brought up the most in the, like, hateful discussions about rock music and the devil. It's always Jimmy Page, like,
Really?
and
There's
Led Zeppelin.
See, I would think that's
Ozzy.
Ozzy?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Ozzy came after.
Oh, he's more like 80s.
Yeah, I mean, they were around in the 70s, like the late 70s, but yeah, Ozzy is very much like after the whole Led Zeppelin wave, so they try to point at Led Zeppelin and Jimmy Page as like the original example. Dude, even in even in Pick of Destiny, like that he was the first like rock guitarist that got a hold of the pick.
Right.
I think. I'm pretty sure
you're right.
Pretty sure it was Jimmy Page, and then it eventually fell into the hands of Eddie Van Halen, which, by the way, we didn't say R.I.P. R.I.P.
Oh, yeah, dude. R.I.P.
That
man.
breaks my heart.
That was, I don't really get crushed over like celebrity death and thing like that, but that one was like, dang.
Yeah, that's like, he's the reason why I play guitar.
The first time I ever went to Nick's house, I was like 15 years old. And I was like, can you play Eruption by Van Halen? And you're just like, well,
you know
right
why?
there on the spot.
You know why? Because my dad showed me a video of Eddie Van Halen playing Eruption, and it was the most mind-blowing thing I'd ever seen. It truly, really blew my mind. I'll never forget him showing me that. And then he was like, okay, he showed me, and then he was like, Nick, I will get you a guitar, a simple guitar. If you can learn that song, I'll buy you any piece of guitar equipment you want.
Wow.
Anything. And so I got a guitar that Christmas. I made it my mission, and I learned it. And then he bought me this freaking huge, sweet Marshall amp. You remember that big Marshall?
It was huge. You would sit on it.
Yeah, literally. I would turn it on and sit on it to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That is ingrained. That was a core memory.
You know what's crazy there? So last Christmas, I went to a wedding in Cleveland, Ohio. So naturally, we went to the Rock and Roll Museum or Hall of Fame or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to like this exhibit on the top floor that had like these documentary style videos about like rock legends, like Eddie Van Halen was one of them. And he was explaining in his segment that the way he learned how to do finger tapping was he was like watching Jimmy Page on stage.
He was doing it was basically like Jimmy would hit a note and then hold his guitar up in the air and do hammer on and pull off notes, which is like a fairly simple thing. But Eddie saw that and was like, what if I did that and then just did one more finger
Yeah.
And then he used to turn around.
Yep. So no one could see it.
So nobody could see it.
No one could replicate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Because he saw it and replicated it and furthered it. I thought that was so cool. Man.
It was just kind of like to build the mystique around it. Because even in interviews, he would be like, "No, I didn't invent it." People were always like, "You invented this brand new." Like he's like, "No, I didn't invent it. I saw Jimmy Page do it."
Yeah.
And then he just turned around to like build the mystique. He'd always do like a kitschy little smile, and he would turn around and start tapping like, it's so iconic.
Yeah.
So iconic.
That's
man.
awesome. Yeah, I don't think I have any more songs at the moment. How do you guys feel about that one? That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was so cool. I think that this whole like message in the music thing is pretty much like an infinite evergreen thing that we could do every now and then. Like, because we kind of stuck in one very like focused little niche here of like 70s rock and roll, 70s and 80s rock and roll vibes, and look how many examples we found.
I like that because like I don't think that, some shiny angel has to come down or a CIA operative and give you lyrics for them to be inspired. Like I do believe that there are many artists out there who just are tapped in and they reach to a really deep place and they pull out very profound lyrics. And also
to this day,
some of our very first episodes of this entire podcast were about concepts like that. Like if I remember correctly, episode 5, I was talking about Just Like Magic by Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
And in that episode, I said I hated Taylor Swift. And 3 years later,
I'm just calling him out on what he said.
Now, 3 years later, I can humbly say I tolerate her.
What?
And it makes my wife very happy. For 3 years, I've been waiting for the moment.
Comes out.
Yeah, the truth comes out, man. I'm a more mature person now.
Do you guys know about Jim Sullivan?
No, never met him.
Oh, Jim Sullivan.
Jim Sullivan
I've never
wrote
heard
this album, and the album title is UFO. And then he wrote this album and disappeared.
We didn't even get into Boston, bro.
Boston?
Their album covers UFO.
Right.
Yeah, it's more than a Phelan, you know what I mean?
That fits right into that niche too.
Yeah.
Like the 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I like that idea. Having some more like kind of music segments, that'd be fun.
It's just like music is I feel like music is one of those like pure channels for like that humans can access. It's like it bypasses your like logic thinking brain. You can get into that like flow state with music where it's like stuff comes from another realm through you. Like
you see me dance.
What is that supposed to be corroboration for what I'm saying?
He's reaching down deep.
Yeah.
I'm not a dancer, and then y'all start playing music. We're setting up the studio, and I start grooving, dude.
He do be shaking his ass. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, what a great idea for this episode.
Great.
Yes, it was Alex's idea.
I'm gonna bow to Alex again.
And I shall as well.
We worship you, idea God.
Yes, thank you for your bows.
We venerate you.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, y'all.
And I want to say a lot of exciting things are happening in our lives, as you heard on Stream of Consciousness 3.
Yes.
But actually, Nick has been living with me this week. It's been freaking awesome. And if you guys are members of our Patreon/Discord, we're going to do a special full disclosure tonight, and Nick is going to be our special guest.
Yay! It's my first time.
Woohoo! It'll probably
really
have been out for weeks already after this episode comes out, but you'll see.
Whatever.
Just watch them all.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other videos.
And before you go, don't forget to subscribe. See you next week. Peace.